My girlfriend texted, "You're not my husband. You don't get updates on my life." I said, "Good news. I won't be your boyfriend either." I blocked her, called the locksmith, and took back the spare key from her mom. The next morning, she was standing outside our door at 7 a.m., calling nonstop. I, 29, male, was sitting on my couch at 8:47 p.m. when the text came through. I had asked her a simple question an hour earlier: what time she'd be home. We lived in separate apartments but spent most weekends together, and she had my spare key. Her response landed on my screen like a slap. "You're not my husband. You don't get updates on my life." I read it 3 times. We had been together for 2 years. 2 years of me adjusting my schedule around hers, of me being understanding when her logistics coordinator job ran late, of me never asking for much beyond basic communication. And now I was being told I didn't qualify for updates on her life because I wasn't her husband. I set the phone down on the coffee table. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. If I wasn't important enough for her to tell me when she'd be home, then I wasn't going to be her boyfriend either. At 8:53 p.m., I typed 4 words: "You're absolutely right." Done. I hit send, then immediately blocked her number. Then I opened my contacts and blocked her on every messaging app we used. The feeling wasn't anger. It was clarity. By 9:15 p.m., I had called a 24-hour locksmith service. The earliest they could come was 7 a.m. the next morning. That gave me time to handle the spare key situation. She had given a copy to her mother 6 months ago. Now it was a liability. I grabbed my jacket and drove to her mother's house. The whole drive, I kept thinking about that text. "You're not my husband." As if being her boyfriend meant I deserved less respect than a stranger. Her mother answered the door at 9:40 p.m., surprised to see me. "Is everything okay?" "I need the spare key back," I said. My voice was calm. "We're done." Her eyes widened. "What happened?" "Ask your daughter." "But I need that key tonight." She disappeared into the house and came back with the key on its little keychain. She tried to ask more questions, but I thanked her and left. I drove home and felt the silence settle around me. No more accommodating her unpredictable schedule. No more wondering if I was asking too much. No more feeling like I was auditioning for a role I'd never get. What I didn't know yet was that my phone, now silenced and face down on the table, was lighting up like an emergency beacon. Looking back, I should have seen it coming. Our relationship had started strong. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue 2 years ago. She was funny, sharp, confident. She worked as a logistics coordinator for a mid-sized shipping company, managing freight routes and vendor relationships. I was an IT consultant working mostly from home. Our schedules complemented each other well, or so I thought. The first year was good. Weekend trips to the coast, dinners at new restaurants, quiet nights watching movies. She was independent, which I liked. She had her own life, her own friends, her own apartment across town. We weren't joined at the hip, but we were together. The shift started around month 15. Small things at first. She stopped confirming plans until the last minute. I'd ask if she wanted to grab dinner on Friday, and she'd say maybe, or "I'll let you know." Then Friday would arrive, and I'd hear nothing until 7 p.m. when she'd text that she was too tired. I told myself it was work stress. Her company had taken on new accounts, and she was managing more routes, more drivers, more problems. I gave her space, but the space kept growing. Texts took longer to answer. Phone calls became rare. When I did see her, she was distracted, scrolling through her phone during dinner. I asked if everything was okay. She said she was fine, just busy. The spare key thing happened in month 18. She suggested her mom should have one, in case of emergencies. It seemed reasonable. What I didn't realize was that she was building distance. She started keeping more of her stuff at her own place. The drawer I had cleared for her slowly emptied out. The toothbrush she kept in my bathroom disappeared one weekend and never came back. By month 22, we were barely seeing each other once a week. I'd suggest plans and get vague responses. I'd ask about her day and get one-word answers. I'd try to talk about us, about whether something was wrong, and she'd shut it down. "I'm just stressed about work," she'd say. Or, "Why do you always need to analyze everything?" I stopped pushing. I told myself that relationships go through phases, that I needed to be more understanding. I accommodated. I adjusted. I made myself smaller so she'd have more room. And then came last Thursday. I had texted her at 7:43 p.m. Simple message. "Hey, what time will you be home tonight?" We had talked that morning about maybe watching a movie at my place. An hour later, The response came. You're not my husband. You don't get updates on my life. I stared at those words. As if that was the only relationship status that mattered. As if 2 years of my commitment meant nothing because I hadn't put a ring on her finger. The coffee mug in my hand was still warm. And for the first time in months, I felt completely calm. I wasn't angry. I was done. I slept well that night. Better than I had in months. No wondering when she'd text back. No checking my phone every 15 minutes. No knot in my stomach. At 6:30 a.m., I woke up naturally and made coffee. The locksmith was scheduled for 7 a.m. I tidied up the apartment, not because I needed to, but because I had time and energy. At 6:55 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment. Fast, urgent footsteps. Then pounding on my door. I know you're in there. Her voice, muffled but unmistakable. Open the door. I stayed on the couch, coffee in hand, and waited. More pounding. Are you serious right now? You blocked me? Over a text. Over a text. As if the problem was my reaction and not her message. I checked my watch. 6:57 a.m. The locksmith would be here soon. I can hear you in there. Just open the door so we can talk like adults. Adults. The irony wasn't lost on me. My phone was lighting up on the kitchen counter. I walked over and glanced at the screen. Notifications from 7 different numbers I didn't recognize. She was using other people's phones to reach me. At 7:02 a.m., the locksmith knocked. I opened the door. She was standing 3 feet to the left, leaning against the hallway wall, her face red and streaked with tears. Finally, can we please just... She stopped when she saw the locksmith behind me. You're changing the locks. Her voice cracked. Are you insane? The locksmith, an older guy in his 50s, stepped past her into my apartment without reacting. This is crazy, she said, following me inside. You're changing the locks because of one text. I turned to face her. My voice was calm, quiet. You were right. I'm not your husband. I don't get updates on your life. So you don't get access to mine. I didn't mean it like that. I was frustrated. I had a long day at work, and you were asking when you'd be home. I finished. Basic communication. Something you apparently think I'm not entitled to. The locksmith was already working on the door, his drill whirring. She looked at him, then back at me. Can we please talk about this in private? We're done talking, I said. You made your position clear. I'm respecting it. You're being dramatic. You can't just end 2 years over one text. I can, I said. And I did. At 8:53 last night. Her mouth opened and closed. The locksmith was removing the old lock cylinder, and the sound of metal filled the silence between us. Where's my key? She finally asked. I got it from your mom last night. Her face went white. You went to my mom's house. I needed the spare key back. I wasn't going to wait until you decided to show up. She must think. What did you tell her? I told her to ask you. The locksmith finished installing the new lock and handed me 2 keys. All set. New deadbolt, new handle lock. Previous keys won't work anymore. I thanked him and walked him to the door. When I came back, she was still standing in my living room, looking lost. You need to leave, I said. And then what? You're just going to pretend I don't exist. No, I said. I'm going to live my life without accommodating someone who doesn't value my presence in theirs. She left. I heard her footsteps in the hallway, slower this time, and then the building's front door closing. I locked my new lock, made fresh coffee, and sat down to work. Update 1: the weekend was quiet. I meal prepped, finished the book I'd been reading, went for a long run on Sunday. My phone stayed silent because everyone who mattered already had my boundaries. On Monday morning, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. Is this really how this ends? It was her. Different phone. You won't even talk to me? We don't have anything to talk about, I said. 2 years, and you're just done? Because of one text message. The text message was just confirmation, I said. The relationship ended months ago. You stopped being present. You stopped communicating. You treated me like an inconvenience. I accepted that and moved on. I had a demanding job. You knew that. Plenty of people have demanding jobs, I said. They still manage to send a text saying they'll be late. They still make time for their partners. So that's it. No second chance. You had 2 years to work it out. You chose not to. She hung up. That afternoon, I got a Facebook message from her mom. She told me what happened. I'm sorry she treated you that way. You deserved better. I thanked her and left it at that. By Tuesday, mutual friends started reaching out. Most were respectful. Hey, heard you and Sarah broke up. You okay? I kept my answers brief. Yeah, I'm good. Just wasn't working out. One friend pushed. She said you changed the locks while she was standing there. That's pretty harsh, man. I sent back. She told me I didn't qualify for updates on her life because I wasn't her husband. I agreed and ended the relationship. The locks were practical. He didn't respond. On Wednesday, I found out she'd been telling people I overreacted to a joke, that the text was sarcasm, that I had taken it wrong, that she couldn't believe I was throwing away 2 years over a misunderstanding. I didn't bother correcting anyone. The people who knew me understood. Thursday morning, exactly 1 week after the text, I got an email from her work address. Subject line, "Can we please talk?" 3 paragraphs of apologies, explanations, justifications. She was sorry. She didn't mean it. Work stress had made her snap. She loved me. She missed me. Could we please just meet for coffee? I deleted it without responding. That night, she buzzed my intercom at 9 p.m. It's me. Please. Just 5 minutes. I pressed the button. There's nothing to explain. We're done. Move on. I can't move on. I love you. I made a mistake. It wasn't one mistake, I said. It was months of deprioritizing me, months of treating me like I was asking for too much when I asked for basic communication. The text was just the moment I finally listened. Silence. Then, so that's it? 2 years mean nothing. 2 years mean I gave you plenty of time to treat me better. You chose not to. I'm choosing to respect myself. I hung up the intercom and turned off my phone for the night. Update 2. By the second week, I started noticing changes. I wasn't checking my phone constantly. I wasn't second-guessing my plans. I wasn't walking on eggshells. I made plans with friends without wondering if she'd need me. I stayed late at work when I wanted to without feeling guilty. I went to the gym at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday because I felt like it. The freedom was startling. I hadn't realized how much space she'd been taking up in my head until she was gone. On Monday of week 2, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Jessica, Sarah's friend from work. She asked me to tell you she's not doing well. She's really struggling. Maybe you could just check in. I typed back. I'm sorry she's struggling, but that's not my responsibility anymore. Jessica replied, You're really going to let her suffer because of one text? One text that reflected months of behavior. I wrote. And yes, I'm going to let her experience the consequences of her actions. That's called accountability. She didn't respond. On Wednesday, her mom called. Her tone was different. Concerned. I'm calling as her mother. She's not eating. She's not sleeping. She's calling out of work. I'm worried. I understand your concern, I said. But she's an adult. She'll process this and move forward. She says you won't even talk to her. There's nothing to talk about. She told me I wasn't important enough for updates on her life. I believed her and acted accordingly. Her mom was quiet. Then, she didn't realize what she had until it was gone. That's unfortunate. But it's not my job to teach her how to value people. You're not even a little bit sad? I was sad for months, I said. While she was pulling away. While she was treating me like an afterthought. I'm not sad anymore. I'm relieved. She sighed. I can't say I blame you. But she's my daughter. I had to try. I appreciate that. But my answer is still no. Friday of week 2, I got a package. Inside was a handwritten letter, 5 pages long, and the necklace I'd given her for our first anniversary. The letter was more apologies. More explanations. She'd been scared of commitment. She'd been pushing me away because she was afraid of getting hurt. Could I please give her another chance? She'd go to therapy. She'd work on communication. I read the whole thing. Then I put it and the necklace in a box in my closet. Not because I was reconsidering, but because throwing it away felt unnecessarily cruel. I didn't respond to the letter. Update 3 week 3 brought a new tactic. She started posting on social media. Not direct posts about me, but carefully crafted sadness. Photos of places we'd been with captions like, missing the memories. Song lyrics about regret. One post was just the word broken with a black and white photo of a coffee cup. I didn't engage. I'd already unfollowed her. But mutual friends started commenting. Supportive messages. You'll get through this. He doesn't know what he's missing. One friend, Kevin, sent me a screenshot. Dude, you seeing this? She's making you look like the bad guy. Let her, I typed back. Anyone who knows me knows the truth. On Tuesday of week 3, she tried a different approach. She showed up at my office building. I had client meetings downtown that day. She must have checked my calendar before I removed her access. She was waiting in the lobby when I came down at 5:30 p.m. Business casual, makeup carefully done. Please, she said when she saw me. Just 10 minutes. There's a coffee shop across the street. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I felt nothing. Not anger, not longing, just mild annoyance. No, I said. You owe me that much. I don't owe you anything. You told me I wasn't your husband, so I didn't get updates on your life. You were right. And you're not my girlfriend, so you don't get my time. That's cruel. That's boundaries. Something I should have set months ago. I walked past her and got in my car. In my rearview mirror, I saw her standing on the sidewalk, watching me drive away. Thursday, she sent flowers to my apartment. 24 roses with a card. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I gave them to my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Chun. She was delighted. Friday brought the most desperate attempt. She called me from her mom's phone at 11 p.m. I can't do this anymore, she said, crying. I can't sleep. I can't work. I can't stop thinking about you. Please, just tell me what I need to do to fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said quietly. It's over. You need to accept that and move on. How can you be so cold? How can you just turn off your feelings like a switch? I didn't turn them off like a switch. I turned them off slowly, over months of being deprioritized and disrespected. The switch was already off. Your text just made me finally acknowledge it. I'll change. I promise. I'll be better. I'll communicate more. Just give me a chance. You had 2 years to prove it. You chose to prove the opposite. I'm choosing to believe your actions over your promises. So that's it. You're just giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm moving forward. There's a difference. I hung up. Then I blocked her mom's number too. By week 4, the contacts slowed down. The social media posts stopped. The mutual friend stopped asking if I was okay. I heard through Kevin that she'd finally started accepting it. She was back at work full-time. She'd stopped talking about me constantly. She was trying to move on. She's not doing great, though, Kevin said when we met for drinks. She looks exhausted. Lost weight. Missing deadlines at work. That's unfortunate, I said. And I meant it. I didn't want her to suffer. I just didn't want her in my life. You really feel nothing? 2 years, and it's just done? It's not that I feel nothing, I said. It's that what I feel is relief. For months, I felt anxious and inadequate. Now I feel calm. Like I can breathe again. She said she'd go to therapy. She's working on herself. Good for her. That's what she should do. For herself. Not for me. She's hoping you'll come back once she's fixed. I won't, I said. Even if she becomes perfect. Because I don't want to be with someone I had to leave before they learned to value me. Kevin nodded slowly. Fair enough. That Sunday, I got a final email. From her personal account. Subject, goodbye, I understand now. You're not coming back. I hurt you, and I took you for granted, and I only realized what I had when it was gone. I'm sorry. I'm working on being better, not for you, but for myself. I hope you find someone who appreciates you the way I should have. I hope you're happy. Goodbye. I read it twice. Then I archived it and went back to my day. Final closure, it's been 3 months now. 3 months since that text, since the locksmith, since the last time I had to explain why I wasn't giving her another chance. Life looks different now. Better different. I joined a climbing gym and made new friends. I took a weekend trip to Portland with Kevin and 2 guys from college. I started cooking more, trying recipes I'd bookmarked but never had time for. I went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but that's fine. I'm not in a rush. I'm enjoying getting to know people who are actually interested in getting to know me back. People who text back within reasonable time. People who make plans and keep them. People who don't make me feel like I'm asking for too much when I ask for basic decency. Last week, I ran into her at a grocery store. We both froze. She was in the produce section, and I was walking past with my cart. Hi, she said finally. Her voice was quiet. Hi, I said. You look good. Thanks. You too. She did look better. Less exhausted. More put together. I meant what I said in that last email. I'm working on myself. Therapy twice a week. Trying to figure out why I push people away. That's good, I said. I hope it helps. It is helping. She looked like she wanted to say more, but caught herself. Anyway, I won't keep you. I just wanted you to know I'm doing better. I'm glad, I said. We stood there for another awkward second. Then she gave me a small smile, the kind that said she understood this was all we'd ever be now. 2 people who used to know each other. Take care of yourself, she said. You too, I said. I walked away. No racing heart. No second thoughts. Just quiet acknowledgement that some chapters close, and that's okay. That night, I made dinner for myself. Pasta carbonara, something I'd been wanting to try. I poured a glass of wine, put on music, and sat at my kitchen table with a book. My phone didn't buzz. I didn't check it every 5 minutes. I didn't wonder if I should reach out, if I should give her one more chance, if I was being too harsh. I just ate my dinner, read my book, and felt completely at peace. Some people think that ending a 2-year relationship over a single text is extreme. They think I should have talked it out, worked through it, given her a chance to explain. But they didn't see the months leading up to that text. They didn't feel the slow erosion of being with someone who treated my presence as optional. They didn't experience the relief of finally listening to what someone was telling me with their actions instead of their words. She was right. I wasn't her husband. I didn't get updates on her life. And now, 3 months later, I don't need them. I have my own life, my own peace, my own space that I no longer have to share with someone who didn't want to be in it. The apartment is quiet now. The new locks still work perfectly. And every morning, I wake up without that knot in my stomach, without that nagging feeling that I'm not enough. Because I am enough. I always was. She just wasn't the right person to see it.